Let's make sure this gets turned down a bit. Alright, so it's been a little while since I've worked in trains and worked on this route. Get a drink there. I figured I'd take a little bit of time to talk about some of the progress I've made on this route. I think in the last one I made a couple months ago, I talked about how I'm struggling with motivation to work on this route. It's a big project. There's a lot to do, and a big part of it is I haven't been getting what I want to get out of my train simulators in a while. That itch hasn't been scratched. So I figured, work on it when I can, do what I can when I can, whatever. Work at my own pace. Don't push myself. Don't let myself get burnt out. And the other day I was just like, I feel like working on it. So I've been doing a bit of work, and I think I showed off this area the last time, how I got the Wixom area pretty done, track work wise, industry wise. I have some basic scenery thrown down in some areas. There's obviously a lot more to do. I just kind of real quickly threw down some stuff here. Kind of doing a little bit of yard work here, just kind of getting what's the word for it? Gonna feel how everything's gonna work. I'm just taking a break from actually doing any route work, driving some trains a little bit. Let's stop this and look at the big areas that I've worked on the last couple of days and show those off. I got a couple of AI drivers out there right now running some stuff. Let's see, we got Darren here is running somewhere down near Grand Blanc right now? Yep. No, this is near Flint. Yeah, it's coming towards the end of, or just rolled through Flint, so yeah, going through Flint, Grand Blanc area right now. Obviously, no scenery work done here yet. It's just track work, grade crossings, and signals. I want to get all that kind of laid out. Ashton is back here just running, I just threw this together just to have something more than a locomotive running down the tracks. Approaching Flint, Tyler here. Oh, he's got a yellow signal. He shouldn't have a yellow signal. Why has he got a yellow? Oh, I think I know why. Let's check the switches in front of him. He's at Atwood. It's taking its time loading. Because that switch is thrown against him. There we go. Should have a clear signal now. And then we got Tom here. Tom is sitting down here. Now, I'll talk about this here in a second. I'm down here at Romulus. It's taking its time loading. Loading times for jumping into scenery isn't too bad, except for when I start recording or streaming. So this is Romulus. This is all just like auxiliary storage from what I can tell. But I filled it up. Then there's some more storage tracks here. It's the storage for this auto ramp here, and from what I can tell, this is an area where like Ford brings cars in from their factories or whatever. They just drive them from a nearby factory or whatever, or they bring them in off a truck, and they stage them in this big parking lot over here, and then they can load them onto the ramps here. I have the ramps put in. These are the JR Multi-Industries. I don't know why they have these big white boxes under them, but I'm going to, eventually when I do a little more scenery work, kind of button that up, clean that up a little bit. And then we can actually go a little further south. Keep going south. Keep going south. Again, it's normally it loads a lot better. You don't get all this, except for as soon as I start recording, it's like, oh, there goes CPU and GPU usage. You can see it building up, coming up. This is about as far as I've gotten so far. This is Carlton right here. I'm going to start laying out some of the track work. I got the grade crossings in. We're going to be testing those here in a little bit. That's what those other trains are running for. But, yeah, I got as far as Carlton, at least to the Grand Trunk crossing there. Now, and I think in a previous video, somebody had asked me, oh, what's this? This is just what this window here is. It keeps popping up. You see it. This is just Car Tagger. It's a real simple real simple rule slash asset that you can put on there, put in your sessions. And when you go to a train, it'll show you, I don't know why, I clicked on that one car and it jumps me to that car, and then all the way back. It's actually, yeah, here we go. So, it shows every train car in the consist that you're currently riding on, you clicked on. The reporting number, car number, and its current destination, and its load status. All these cars are empty. And you can do, you can hit this, it says tag current vehicle. And there's a lot of different options in the tagging, when you set up the rules, but I have it set to only match industry needs. You can have that turned off, and you can send tank cars to the auto plant if you want. I have it set to match industry needs since I am using multiple industry news effectively. I'm using JR Malta Industries. Any industry that this car will load at will pop up here, as well as portals. Portals and iPortals will always show up in here as well as a possible destination. And then none is one, and then it should... Oh, for locomotives, it'll let you... There's an option for free tagging of cars and free tagging of locomotives. And all free tagging of cars and locomotives really does, if I click on a locomotive, we can hit tag. It gives you a little box and you can just type whatever. So if this was a specific local, I could type in that local or yard cruise tag. And then this little checkbox right here, tag block of 2 cars. So if we click this, we can now see that these 2 locomotives are now both, tagged for that industry we selected. That's one of the 2 tools that I use for setting up and organizing operations. The other one right here is this panel list button. You click this, and I can click this and bring up my panel for my iPortals, so I don't have to teleport to them. But then I also have a Saginaw Sub DD or Saginaw Sub Destination Database, and click that, and I'm using the destination database as well. I have that on there, but I haven't got it fully configured. But I can, set up all that kind of stuff if I wanted to. That's the other thing, the other tool that I use for operations. I have made past videos talking about CMTMS and how to set that up. And in trains 12, Tane, I believe, DAP did get it working where it would work with iPortals. But I've moved on to trains 2019, and probably next year when 2022 comes out, I'll move this route and everything to trains 2022. And DAP hasn't been around. Haven't heard anything from him in a while. And CMTMS doesn't work with iPortals in trains 19. And I've actually been having issues even using the provided, the routes that DAP is set up and knows works. I've had issues with those routes working in CMTMS. So, other little things I want to talk about, some stuff that I've done that are kind of neat little things you got to pay attention to if you're playing on this route. Any place where I have a diamond. Actually, yeah, here's one. So there's a diamond right here, right? I'm using the ASB crossover controller to basically control the signals there. If you look along the tracks, if I can remember where I put them. I gotta find it. Here it is. So wherever I have a trigger that will activate those crossings, I have these green isolated rail joiners right here, just kind of as a marker. There's actually the trigger right here. When a locomotive passes it, it will claim that diamond. So now if a train were becoming, this signal will stay red until you cross that, and then that trigger, and then this signal will go green, and anything coming across this track will have a red signal. And I've done that for pretty much every single one of my crossings. Where's there? Oh, he's coming through Atwood right now too. I think that particular trigger for the crossing in Holly is somewhere over here, because let's see, Tyler should be getting close to Holly. No, that signal shouldn't be red. We'll see what happens. I'll see what happens. I'm not gonna record a 20-minute video. I'm probably gonna end this here right now. But yeah, I'm still been slowly just making progress on this route. It's just hard, you know. Building routes is difficult. I think I talked about this in the previous video too. It's like I got pretty far with my first version of this route, and I wasn't happy with it. So I still have that version of the route, but I've completely started over from scratch and made a much better version that I'm much more happy with. But it's like I had Holly all fleshed out, like all this was done. Like the scenery in Holly was 100% done on the old version, but the scenery only went as far as here, so you could see the edge of the world from the diamond, and now it's much wider. I'm debating if I want to like actually flesh out the scenery all the way to the edge of the baseboards. I want to, like, that's ideal what I would want to do, but I'm also like, oh, that's a lot of work. I could flesh it out, you know, as far as, you know, maybe a half mile, as far as here from the tracks, and then not worry about it too much and just fill it with trees or something. You know, it would be outside of the render range anyways of most people. But I don't know. I'll play around with it and see how I want to go. I have another project route that I want to do where I would do that. I would go all the way right up to the edge of the baseboards just because I'm insane and would do that. But yeah, still working on this on and off, here and there, and in between. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.